Welcome to Through the Bible in a Year with Pastor John. We invite you to join us at 1 Oakleigh Avenue in North Providence, Rhode Island. This podcast is presented to you by The Way Ministries, supported by listeners like you. For donations, live videos, podcasts, and more, please visit www.thewayministriesri.org. Thank you and have a great day.
Hi everybody, welcome to Through the Bible in a Year with Pastor John. So glad you could join me today to get a portion of God's Word. Today we're going to begin in day 74, March 14th, Reflection and Worship. Like I always say, this is a chance to catch up, or we can recap on the previous 6 days of reading. And if you have a chance to catch up, you can. If not, just keep reading along. Against the odds. When we put our cares in God's hands, He puts His peace in our hearts. Look back. This week you have read about the judges of Israel, military leaders who fought to deliver the nation from the results of its persistent sin. More than a dozen are described in the book of Judges, but Deborah and Gideon are two of the best. Deborah, a prophetess and songwriter, is instrumental in delivering the nation from Canaanite oppression. Gideon, a timid man with unimpressive credentials, leads the world's most unusual military band in the destruction of Midian's army without the ancient world's equivalent of a shot being fired. Casting a shadow bigger than life across the last half of the book of Judges is Samson, a man with incredible physical strength and equally remarkable moral weakness. Set apart by his parents from birth for special service to God, Samson ends his life in failure and dishonor. His great potential and equally great moral collapse mirror the condition of the nation, which becomes so corrupt and degraded by the end of the book that even shocking brutality and immorality no longer cause the people to blush. The story of Ruth shines as an exception to this sad state of affairs. Ruth, the Moabitess, forfeits the security of her homeland for the privilege of knowing the one true God. Look up. The plans may be man's, but the odds are God's. And chances are good you wouldn't want to face the odds Gideon faced as God whittled down his fighting force to something that would bring great glory to the Lord of hosts. Get your pen or pencil and let's do a little arithmetic. How large was the Midianite army before the battle began? According to Judges chapter 8 verse 10, there were only 15,000 soldiers left after 120,000 had fallen in battle. That would make a total of 135,000 enemy soldiers to begin with. According to Judges chapter 7 verse 3, Gideon had 10,000 soldiers left after 22,000 had gone home fearful. Add those two numbers together and he had started with 32,000 men. That means initially Gideon faced odds of 135,000 to 32,000, or roughly 4-1. What did God say about those odds in Judges chapter 7 verse 2? After the fearful ones left, Gideon's army was reduced to just 10,000. The Midianite army was still the same size, 135,000. Now Gideon faced odds of 135,000 to 10,000, or roughly 13-1. What did God say about those odds in Judges chapter 7 verse 4? After the water drinking test, Gideon's army was further reduced to just 300 men. Judges 7 verse 7. Meanwhile, the Midianite army was still the same size of 135,000. That means Gideon now faced odds of 135,000 to 300, or roughly 450-1. And what did God say about those odds in Judges chapter 7 verse 7? Look ahead. God delights to bring great victory out of certain defeat. At times he seems to go out of his way to ensure that the odds are overwhelmingly against his people, so that when victory is achieved, there can only be one explanation: God did it. Would you have had the courage to do what Gideon did? Before you conclude that Gideon was some sort of Old Testament super saint, recall that when the story began, he was cowering in a wine press, trying to escape the eyes of the Midianites in Judges chapter 6, verse 11 to 12. This was just a humble servant who obeyed God in spite of the odds. Perhaps the odds look no better from where you are standing as you look at your own prospects for victory over a physical disability, an uncertain future, or a family situation that defies solution. Give God a chance to show himself strong, and you may see the odds swing decidedly in your favor. That's all for today, my friends. Some serious thoughts there. Thank you for listening with me and reading along with me. Have a great day. God bless, and I will see you tomorrow, Lord willing. Peace.